Y'all, watching that mental diet is serious, okay? I'm just coming through with a really quick reminder. I just need to let y'all know or remind you guys of how important it is for your mental diet to be exactly what you want it to be. And I mean this in the way that you're watching the things that you say. I mean, like, every single day, I don't want to say every single day because it's not every single day, thankfully, thank God. But, you know, the people that I come across in my life, I see them, I hear them. A lot of times people say very limiting things, and it's usually out of habit. It's not because they actually believe these things, and they don't really think that their words have substance or power over their situation, right? In reality, every single time I hear, and this actually is true, if I hear somebody saying something that they don't mean, I have to correct them. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just tell them, like, oh, you don't mean that, like, don't say things like that. You know, it obviously depends on the person, because you don't always want to intrude and be like, you shouldn't say those things because they can manifest. You can always say that, but for me, I like to speak to people in their own language. So I'll just correct somebody if I ever catch them saying something that I know that they don't mean, especially if I feel comfortable enough to verbally point out what it was that they said, you know? But for anyone else who may be watching this, and if you don't feel fully comfortable just calling people out on the things that they're saying to themselves that they don't mean, anytime you intuitively feel called to just say something because you feel like you should, don't hold yourself back from saying those things. And I mean, in a very nice, caring, calm, collective way. I don't, you know, like, don't say that. Literally just be like, don't say that. Like, you don't mean that. You know, things like that, whatever. Say it in your own way, but correct people around you, because, man, this mental diet needs to be checked, and it needs to be in check, because everything that you say, it does result in something. I'm not saying that every single thing that you say is going to manifest, excuse me, especially if you don't believe in it. You know, you could say silly things that you don't mean and they won't happen, but it's that energy behind it. You don't want to be saying things you don't mean in your reality, even if it couldn't happen to you. What's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather say things that you would rather have in your reality as opposed to making jokes about shit that you don't want? Because I know for myself that I don't ever make jokes about things that I find unfavorable. I used to when I was little. I would say some in high school, you know, things like that, when you're surrounded by so many people who make self-deprecating jokes, who make jokes about life, about this and that, and things that they think could never happen to them, all that stuff. That's something that's learned, and you have to unlearn it, because I have not made a joke like that in literally, I don't even remotely remember the last time I made a joke like that, because I don't play about that. Because you can also feel the energy when you say things like that you don't mean. It feels like you feel kind of crappy, bro. Like, you feel like you're settling and you're putting yourself below a standard that you know that you're above, you know? So I just wanted to come through and just give y'all the reminder of being very mindful about the things that you say to yourself, and also being mindful about the people that you surround yourself with who also say things that are very limiting like that, because it is always a choice to speak like that. And I know that for myself, the people in my life, the friends that I have, if God forbid anyone says anything that they don't mean, I will always say something, because I know that I should, because I know that it's not something that they want. Like, that's not an energy that anybody wants to have, and I won't stand it either. You know, I'm very, very, I have very high standards about who I allow in my life. So every single person I have, I take very big note of. I'm not like super strict, at least outwardly, but in my mind I am very strict. So if someone says something very limiting, I'm not going to sit there and just be like, okay, cute little quirk you have. No, it's let's correct this, because if you can't correct it, or if you don't want to, then maybe we're not meant for each other, and that's completely okay. You feel me? But I'm going to act accordingly. Be mindful about what you say to yourself. Always watch what you say. Make sure that the things that you say are things that you actually mean, that you do want to see happen and manifest within your reality, and just basically be mindful. That's it. Okay, watch your mental diet, be on top of your stuff, don't sleep on that, don't shit on that, don't do anything other than just pay attention to it, and be kind. You know, as time goes on, to yourself, I mean, be kind to yourself. As time goes on, it's going to become very natural for you to just watch your mental diet and to say the correct things, as opposed to making jokes about things that shouldn't even be joked about. It's not funny, bro. You're not ugly, you're not stupid, you're not this and that. Things that people say that they think is funny, bro. Like, it's literally not funny. For one, you say that to yourself when you're doing something and you mess up on it and you're like, I'm so this. Okay, strike one. Strike two, when you're with your friends and then something happens, you almost trip, and then you're like, I'm so this. Strike two, the fuck? And then strike three is that you continue doing that for the rest of your life, but I don't think so. It's not funny. There are other ways to make jokes. There's other ways to cope, and you don't have to cope anyway. And there's other things to focus on mentally, all right? Let's be mindful, please, all right? Thank you, guys. Watch your mental diet, check it, keep it in check, and always be on top of your business. We're all on top of this world, and believe me, the more that you uplift yourself is the more that will manifest, because it already has. All right, then, y'all. May God bless y'all always. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, for watching, for listening to my little piece of advice. I had to let y'all know. Y'all already know what the tea is, but definitely very good, cute reminder. It always has to be said. I'm never gonna not say it because it's true. But yes, take this with you, my love. Y'all got this through and through. Thank y'all for everything. I love you all so very much. All right then, angels. Peace out.